Hi, welcome to another Gehts. Got some exciting news. The printer sent us a printer's proof of Tutor, our upcoming game that will be shipping here very shortly. Sorry about it. It was a hot, sweaty day. Just got back from a run with the dog, and under my beautiful, pristine Academy Games shirt, I've got my slightly still fragrant, like the flowers in springtime shirts. So now that we got that all over Jim, Jim's sitting over there just kind of straight-faced the way Jim is, I'm going to do an unboxing of Tutor. So I'm kind of excited. The first thing, and as you know, I never hold anything back, first thing that kind of bothers me is that the box isn't all the way closed, which means to me, with all the fat, thick counters and everything that's shipping with the game, I think they stacked them on top probably, and when you use them, throw the sprues away, everything will fit down tight. So let's find out and see. I'm going to pull out the handy dandy knife here and give it a cut. The box, it looks well packed, not dinged or anything. Everything's very nicely aligned. And I look at this from a publisher's standpoint. So now that we've looked at the box, let's open it up. All right, first thing we see here are the stickers that go onto the rings. The big stickers go on the front, and then for colorblind people, you have the option of putting the small sticker on a little small portion on the back. Each one has extra stickers, so in case you screw up, you can throw the screwed up one away and try again. So I believe there are 3 rings of each color and 5 stickers for each color. So that's really nice. Next, we have the rule set. The rule set's looking very nice, very clean. Everything looks very aligned. I'm going to go to the front section. The board, very cleanly done. So I'm very happy with the rule sections. Very good, thick paper, nice gloss. Very happy. Those that you have very close monitors or very tight frame or good monitors, you'll see, as I just noticed, that these are the Spielregel auf Deutsch and not the English ones. So they must have, I'm going to have to let them know that we got some German language instead of English. To them it probably is all German-English anyway. So next we are going, and this, now I see why the lid didn't close all the way. These are thick, thick, thick counter sheets. These are about as thick or even thicker than our Conflict of Heroes counters. This feels like 2.8 or at least, 2.8 to 3 mil thick. Very thick. Pop right out. Very cleanly. As you can see, very evenly centered. Very nice. Material very thick, compressed and what's the word I'm looking for, James, when it's very compressed core board. Solid core board. Some of the core boards you can see is a looser core board that when you run your thumb over them, the edges come off, and these don't. And we made them very aware of it, and they're used to doing our games for years, Magicraft in China, and these look nice. No little tabs, nothing. Very nicely done. Let me do some, we always do this on different sections. Pops nicely, pops nicely, pops nicely. Very clean. So we try to get popping on each other. Let's pop down here. Very nice. That means that the presses are cutting very consistent and even. So I'm very happy with that. Again, everything is very centered, very nicely done for the 4 sides. Here we have the ring holder, it looks like, in the center, and then the different factions for the courts. I'm going to put this together. We'll put a pause later on because I want to put the ring holder together and see what it looks like. I'm all excited about that. That's a new late item that we put on the Kickstarter. Next is the map board. First thing I look for, has it been dried correctly? If you can see this, and Jim, you can probably tell, get in there close. This looks like it's very flat. There's no gapping. There's no Wölbung. Gosh darn it, that's a problem when you speak languages that are very consistently close. Wölbung, when a board bends up. Es wölbt sich. Oh, look at that board. It's warped.
Yeah.
Wölbung, warping. Gosh darn it. Anyway, very nice and flat. That's good. The colors look very rich. And I always want to get a new board. I just go little like this because the new boards, these have a tape along the edges to keep them from ripping. So when you go over an edge like this, a fold like this, you feel a little bump right over the fold line. That's because they put a piece of non-tearing tape so that it holds better. Very nicely, it feels good. Very nice and flat. First ones, I always go like this the first time just to bring that bend nice and flat. Looks nice. This is the 4-player. Colors look good. What do you think, Jim?
That looks really good.
Looks very nice. And then I'm all excited. On the back side, the other side was that was a 2-player. And here we have the 3 and 4-player side. Looks very good. You know what? Does this side look a little lighter in color than the other?
It does, especially on the victory point track.
In the victory on the side here, let's see. You know what? Does this does that look a little darker here than this side?
I think so.
It almost looks like it's a little darker. That this side here, the second side, looks a little darker on the outside ring, but then my impression was that it was lighter overall. You know what it is, I think, Jim? Is that for the 2-player game, these columns are compressed, and then we have these lighted chandeliers here. Mm-hmm. And I think the color difference is just giving an optical illusion that this side seems to be darker, even though the point track... I think we might be looking at a color illusion because this is all the same color. So anyway, very happy, very nice and flat. Nice, very nice. Any comments, Jim? Just throw them in. This is our first time because our other guys are out on vacation. Gunther and CCR are both out of here. So Jim and I were halfway through this recording. Some of you may have noticed the skip where the power went out. And we're like, started over again, power went out again. What the heck? Oh, you have to plug these big old cameras in. So there goes our engineering work. Next are the treaty cards, or I'm sorry, treaty cards. I'm thinking Freedom Underground Railroad. The beginning of the player setup cards, and nicely packaged. These, I think, were the extras, the Kickstarter extras, promos. Here is where you can learn how to play the game online. And then these were some of the extra Kickstarter nice little exclusive cards. Now notice, we did not count on this, but we're so happy with the success of the Kickstarter and everything that we then had a custom, very nice insert made where everything just fits in. So you can see the hands fit in very nicely. And they look beautiful. We went through a lot of work with these to make sure that they had a valley fold. The valley fold is solid printed paper with PP coated. So these are waterproof on both sides, and so they cannot tear. And they are very thick. Wow. They stand well. You can see them well. Check it out, Jim. I mean, these are pretty nice. Let me know what you think also. So on this side, you can see all the special chamber abilities that the lords will grant the courtier. And very nice. The first ones we got were not a valley fold. We call this a valley fold. A valley fold is like the old Monopoly boards, where when you put the board out, you see like a little valley where they fold the boards. This board, we do not use valley folds because we want everything to be nice and smooth. But in this case, and these are a little more difficult to manufacture and make, whereas on these, we did not want to risk having one side open and being able to tear. So very nice. I'm very happy. Very good looking. And I have to hurry up because I have a tendency of rambling. Here are the other set of cards. We have 2 scoring cards, a green and a red, and then we have green-red scoring cards. And I don't know how far you can see this, Jim, if you can see colors. Green-red scoring cards, and then here we have the special events, saying for how many players, how long the game is, how many courtiers come in every round, and then special abilities you can do with the different intrigue tokens and influence tokens. Very nice cards. Again, we use very high-end blue core. We don't use a black core because the blue core we feel has I like that snap. I like a really tight, light, or a sharp snap. And we test the cards by bending and putting them straight. And we don't want them to stay bent. All these cards are not like plastic that go right straight. They always keep a little bend, but if they go straight back again the way you want, especially if you shuffle, that's very important to us. So we do use the 310 gram blue core, which is thicker than the others. Here we have the yes, the faction cards, right?
Yep.
And the faction cards, these are like the German half poker size, I think they call them, or mini cards. And again, they feel good, very good color. Things I look for is I want to make sure the framing is exactly centered. So in here, on this side, you can maybe see a little better. You can see that the frame around is centered very well. So we do not have one side closer than the other. So they did a very nice job here. Another thing I really look for is to see if the edges are kind of folded up along the edges. These are very nice, very smooth, very clean. We've had some issues with some of the printers out of China in the past, so this is a biggie for us. I want our counters to be nicely center punched. And a lot of games you'll see where the punching is off center. Hate that. That is just sloppiness. It's when they put the boards onto the press. What they are, it's a flat sheet or a flat plate they put on, and against, vertically almost, are the blades. And you put these onto this flat surface, hit the button, boom, it goes up, cuts, and comes back down. How these are done so that they're always even is the paper that these are printed on overlap the core board. Because you know the paper is always centered. So this paper overlap is what fits into that bottom corner jig that centers it. Then it goes up, cuts, and it doesn't matter if the core board is a millimeter or 2 off when it's glued onto it. What's important though is that it's centered along the edge, or correctly placed along the edge, comes up and cuts, and then you have good consistent centering. If the setup die man doesn't do it correctly, had a bad day, things are going quick, dirt falls against it, it builds up over time, it'll push it over. So we are on top of this, always making sure that they make sure that the products are centered. Very nice. Very happy with that. Next, we have the meeples. You know what? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the map board out so that we can get a feeling for this in the, and I'm going to put the 3 and 4 player side up. And this is where the cards go. Just going to put some out just to get a feeling for how they look. And just get a feel for that. These are the Ravensburger meeples that they were so excited for, and they are nice. They're nicely rounded. They feel good. We have our courtier that fit on the chairs, small chairs, on the left side of the chambers, audience chambers, and then we have, every player also has their lords. Now, as you may know, we did receive again from the printer the second round and final round, and these molds are in production, of the miniatures that all the Kickstarter people were going to get. 76 of these suckers. I think 16 courtier for each player, in 4 of each type of courtier in the models. And I don't know if you can get on tight on these, Jim. if you can tighten up. But these, you can see the round bases are the lords, and they're round circles on the lord's side. Behind the chair for the courtier are the squares for the courtiers. And you can see that, you know, we planned it pretty well. The circles on the bottom and the circles on the lord's bases are exactly, they fit perfectly. So as people are filling in these chambers and also coming into the court, looks very nice. I mean, the Kickstarter for these miniatures, I think, is going to be phenomenal. Everybody's getting this separate pack of these lords. And then here's Henry VIII sitting there, and I love putting him here on his crown spot. So I love the meeples that come with the game, but our Kickstarter supporters and CrowdOx, and many of you who are just seeing this for the first time, if you still pledge now, you can still get this, because we added a lot of cool little stuff after the Kickstarter that we thought of, such as this insert for the game box that we're counting as our Kickstarter goals reached. Next is the bag. This bag, I think, is too small. This looks like it is 100 millimeters wide, 10 centimeters wide. I'm going for, oh, that's not 10 centimeters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 6. I want this at least 10. I want it this wide because I have pretty fat hands. It's not fitting. No good. I don't know what they're doing with the other countries, other languages, other publishers, but I'm 100% positive that Frank Nowak from CrowdOx Games will go along and make wider so guys with fat fingers and hands can reach in there. Jim put together the ring. You know what? This is sturdy. This is well done. I mean, this is sturdy. The rings go on the side. It shows you exactly how many rings to place in with different players. And now let's look at the rings. And I'm really excited about the rings. Many of you saw these at the shows, and the rings were just paper samples. Beautiful. Really highly detailed. I can't wait to get my hands on these and paint some of these. I know this is going to run a little over, Jim, but I really want to take one of these stickers. What happened to the stickers? I put them here somewhere. Did I lose them already?
Underneath the hands right there.
Underneath the hands. Ah. Oh, here they are. You know, I want to take a sticker. I'm just going to have some fun. I'm going to take one of these with the hearts. I want to see how difficult it is to put on. I'm going to put one of these on. Well, that was easy. There is a recess. This is concave. The surface is very flat, very well molded, and it looks good. With the little one on the back, let's see. On the little one, that's where the mold injection point was. So there's a little nib there. And I'm not going to take it off. Usually I take my little X-Acto and just rub it once or twice. But I'm going to give this a try and see what I get out of this. And put that, fat fingers. This is where, if I had some tweezers or something, it would work a little better. But, you know what? I'm not the guy to do this. But there we go. So, also, these spread like this. What I like is, I tell people, I'm not going to be putting this on my hand to show people which finger and what order they're in, because depending on how you place the rings on your finger, you're projecting to other people your intents and your power. So not only who you're allied with in the court, but also then, if I have 3 rings in the middle, 3 fingers, people know that I'm going for the moving, small but many moves through the court to pick up as many different type of faction tokens as I can. But a lot of people, they're going to maybe play like this, but I like it that you can open these up and I can just put them on any finger that I want on my real hand, and I'm going to be playing like this. So when I'm playing with someone, I'm going to say, hey, do you have the middle finger you want to give me so I can get that power, or are you going to force me to be mean about things? So I love them. The rings look great. I mean, this is, do I look as powerful as I feel right now, Jim.
Yeah.
Look at this. Man, I'm like, you know what? I'm hoping I'm not giving a gang symbol out to somewhere. That red yellow is like some gang in New Orleans or lower Duluth, Minnesota is going nuts, you know. These white cracker farm boys going, hey, he's using the wrong tractor color. I want to see green and yellow for John Deere. Sorry, farm boys. I think that's the worst gang option ever given. So, anything else you want to say about this? Oh, let's see how the rings fit in here. They fit nice. Can you see those on camera pretty well, Jim? Oh, man, I tell you what. I cannot wait to play this game. We are going to be posting the rules, or have we posted the rules online? If we have not, I'm going to make sure on Monday that Ashley posts all the rules online, but these look good. Now, one thing they warned us about, some of the rings, when they come out of the mold machine, I don't know if they can see this here, Jim, but when they come out of the mold machine, they are not molded really boom, because in the molding machine and the cooling, they can sometimes cool a little differently. So what we were told by the molder is just put some water, microwave it, make it kind of warm, and just plop these in, not boiling, warm, plopping them in for about 30 seconds, and just move them the way you want them, and then take them out, let them cool, and they'll be, boom, beautiful like they should be. So if you have any other questions, let me know. Now, I'm going to really quick go forward, and maybe, Jim, you want to put these on for the ring thing so they look a little better. I wanted to show some other people some other stuff. Our Conflict of Heroes got in tons of our D10 special dice for Conflict of Heroes, our spend checks. These have 2 1s, 2 3s, and 2 5s on each 10-sided die, which gives us really neat a one-sided probability curve, which is really neat. We're asking our playtesters and everything that have been helping us with doing the rules and all, give us a call if you want to playtest, and then promise you're going to post some things about your experience with them. Good or bad, we don't care. Give me an email directly. I'll get some sent out. We didn't get many in, but a good 50. So I can send 1 or 2 to everybody who will playtest. Let us know what you think about it and post online. Then we also received the new modified boxes that'll come with the Conflict of Heroes. Now these are each side is going to have their own set. And I've been playing with this jumping, bouncing them around and everything. And so I threw them from 4 feet on the ground. They won't stay shut when you drop them 4 feet. So I'm going to have to figure out how far you can drop them before they hold together. But needless to say, each side has their own set of counters. Snaps on very nicely. Dice in the middle. Then 1 to hold the cards. The cards are made for those people who want to also sleeve them. All held together. And for those of you who have asked before, this new system where you're not activating 1 unit for 7 action points, you can just jump around any way you want. With the new games, the 3rd edition rules, all the games of 3rd edition can be used with the old version, and everybody with the old version can use the new. Oh, we got one of our players in. Ziggy, come here once. Come here. Come up here. Come up here. This is Ziggy, our groundhog killing crazy dog, who loves every person, every dog in the world. So if you ever come to visit us, watch out for this dog. He'll lick you to death. Next, what we got in is we got from this new printer the new maps made in China. Why we went with the Chinese one is I like PP coating. Makes them waterproof, makes them where you can mark on them with dry erasable pencils, pens. When I'm playing solo and I'm kind of figuring out where I want my artillery to go and all that, boom, I mark on here just like I do on a planning sheet or even a military op-ord sheet, and it just gives me a feeling of like I'm there, and then I wipe them off. So very nice. I tested these. We got these in a week ago. They've been sitting downstairs on our testing desk. It's been very hot and muggy and wet here, and these things are still flat as not a pancake. Pancakes aren't very flat. A record?
Yeah.
My old LPs are all like that now already. So anyway, but they're flat. They're as flat as my personality and humor today. So sorry about that. Then the last thing we got in, or two more things, for Agents of Mayhem. We got, and these are all mold proofs. These are, and we went, instead of using counters to show objectives and control areas, we have here, these are really nice, very thick. You can see these are thick counters that will give us different, here, black matter shards, things like that, that will be placed on the 3D buildings so you can see from all angles. And it's not a counter that you can't see. Here's a computer terminals, all kinds of cool stuff. And then the last thing is we wanted to make sure that everything with these posts were perfect. So we had them ship us these again. And the plugs, each column has a threaded head to it, which should fit into the plugs. Boom. And if you have really fat fingers like I do, you can use these to screw them in and out. Or if it's no big deal, push them through the bottom. This goes on it. Just boom, done. These are meant to be a half turn tight. So you put them together and go boom, half turn. They lock right in. Keep those 3D buildings tight. So this is Uwe Eichert with Academy Games. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for my diatribe on what we look for in a board opening. And oh, I feel like Gollum here. I found my preciouses. And I'm not giving any 21 of these away to anybody. Have a great, great weekend.